Thank you so much for that beautiful musical introduction, Jackson Grace, our musician. Yay! Thank you so much, everybody, for being here this evening at our 9th annual Franklin High School Poetry Slam. We have 11 phenomenally talented student student poets sharing poems tonight, and we have over 50 folks in the audience just to start. I'm so excited to hear all of these poets tonight slamming their slam poetry. We have 3 fantastic judges who have volunteered their time this evening as well. I'll tell you a little bit about how the format will go and tonight's program. So this evening is our 9th annual Poetry Slam. Our previous librarian, Sunny Childs, has pioneered the slam poetry event at Franklin High School, and I'm picking up the torch. I'm Ann Reyes-Frazee. I'm the newest addition to the library at Franklin, having an exciting virtual poetry slam for the first time ever, virtual everything for the first time ever, and we're doing it. We're really excited to be there and so glad that you're joining us as well. So we have our wonderful English department sponsors, Pam Garrett and Dana Vinger, who have helped so much coaching our student poets and running workshops and supporting everybody. As I mentioned, Sunny Childs, who has pioneered the slam poetry at Franklin and has generously volunteered her time to support our student poets and our staff members in creating another fantastic event for you all tonight. So in the audience, we've got lots of Franklin students and staff. We've got lots of family members and friends, community members. And the benefit of having a virtual slam is that folks from all across the country who maybe wouldn't be able to come to support us in person can support us tonight. So we'll consider doing a live stream next year so that we can include everybody once again. So the slam, I'll turn it over to Sunny to give you a short overview of the slam guidelines. And remember, the point is not the points, the point is the poetry. Our poetry slam is about the art and craft of creating spoken word poetry and sharing it with the world. So Sunny will tell you a little bit about the judging and the guidelines, and then we'll get right into round 1.
Thank you. If you could put up the slides again, too. So folks, each poet has 3 minutes in order to tell an original poem. They are not allowed any props or costumes. If they go over 3 minutes, they have a 10-second grace period. That grace period will be marked by our beautiful musician playing the very light at 3 minutes. You'll get to hear a very light, lovely piano sound. Jackson? Great. At 3:10 is when we actually start deducting points, and you'll hear something a little more jarring. Excellent. And our poet should be wrapping up. They'll lose a half a point from the total score for every 10 seconds beyond that 3:10. The judges, however, are not going to be paying any attention to that. And I do want to introduce our judges if we haven't done that yet. We have Mr. Frazier, we have Ms. Gomez, and we have Ms. Dixon. And if you could give them our great thanks, we are very excited to have them. Normally, the judges are evaluating on performance, language, and content. And they will be doing the same thing, but normally it's very public and they hold up a card and it has the numbers on there and the audience cheers if they're happy with the score and they boo if they're not happy with the score and they want to support the poet, and it's very raucous. But because we can't really hear the audience in the webinar format, they're just going to submit their scores into a spreadsheet, and After the first round, because there's 2 rounds, after the first round, we will know which of our poets have made it into the second round. And then we'll have a second round where poets will read a new piece, and they will be scored again on performance, language, and content by our amazing judges. And then from that, we will have a first, second, and third place. The first place wins a $100 gift card. Second place will win a $75 gift card, and third place wins a $50 gift card. When we're in person, we give them hard, cold cash. We want it to spend wherever you want. At any rate, we're very excited. Have I left out any rules, Pam? I do want to make sure we know how, before we go, audience, you're going to have to bear with a little technical piece. Have we figured out how the timekeeper is going to talk to the musician? Is it in the chat? Is it in the text? Or are you going to be watching Eleanor Jackson?
I think it's going to be in the chat. I'll see the chat.
Will you? Okay, pay close attention to that chat. And there are some fun reactions, apparently, so don't forget. And the chat will be open. This is very important because we cannot hear your cheers. The chat will be open for between poems. Try not to do it during the poem. Afterwards, for you to give your praise to the poets, and that would be wonderful. At the end, we will copy the chat and we will share those with the poets because they probably won't have a chance. And I did want to say right now, as Archie's picture is up here, those of you who are new to our slam don't know this, but Archie is our beloved dog mascot at Franklin High School. He's been with us. He was with us for many years. He basically is a therapy dog, was a therapy dog. And we lost Archie this past week. He was at every slam, and he hung out in the library many years, and we are really going to miss him. So we want to dedicate this slam to our beloved Archie. Thank you. And now, is there anything else I need to say?
Thanks, Sunny. I think we're ready to kick it off.
Yay.
So once again, thank you to our 3 fabulous judges. Thank you to our 11 incredible poets, our 1 amazing musician, our fantastic timer, and our 2 staff members. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so excited to start hearing some poetry. So I've got my extremely high-tech peanut butter jar with names in it. In true slam fashion, we pick a random first poet, and that person will be Davon. You're up first.
Okay. All right. My poem is called Missing. All right. What does it mean to miss? Because missing is a complicated concept. Like, how is missing my hot summer day at the pool the same as me missing my childhood best friend I haven't spoken to since her 9th birthday? It's complicated. Or after a devastating heartbreak, figuring out if you miss that person you felt like you loved with all your heart, or if you miss the memories that made you seem right. Because memories are a hell of a drug. Take a sip of memory cola, close your eyes, and drift down memory lane. It's addicting. Memories often come in different magnitudes, from little penny-sized words in the back of your head to overwhelming books that you can never seem to finish. Like magic ones always seem to have more pages every read, even though it's been published for years now. It's exhausting. Sometimes memories can be confusing. Do I miss the memory and everything that came with it, or simply the time of the memory? Memories are deceiving. They're manipulating. Personally, I miss elementary school, back before my innocence was taken from me, when every day was a bright, sunny day, and the only thing clouds meant was inside recess and board games. Back when I didn't have to stay up until 3 a.m. studying about a topic I'll forget seconds after I turn in my final. Back when stress was unheard of and the only thing I'd cry about was when I bruised my knee falling off the swings. Those days are long gone. But to answer the question, to miss is to be reminiscent of a moment in time. Think about it, appreciate it, then on to the next stop. That's all.
Thank you so much, Davon. That was fantastic. Oh, the chat is just blowing up. Awesome. Great job. Uh, Sunny reminded me that I forgot at the very beginning to do kind of a general warning for our audience and panelists. These poems are from the heart. These poems are real and true. And these poems cover a broad range of topics, including some sensitive topics. So if you're watching with your kiddos tonight, just a heads up, these poems might include some language. They might include some topics that are tricky or tough or make you uncomfortable. And that means it's great poetry. But I wanted to give everybody a heads up about that, just to be aware that our poetry slam contains real life tough content. So thank you. And thank you for our first poet, Davon. It's always really challenging to be the first person to go. And now you get to kick back and relax for the whole rest of the slam. Thank you so much. All right, I'm getting my peanut butter jar. Our second poet of the evening is Alex. Give it up for Alex.
Hello. I have a pretty small room, so sorry, but my name is Alex, and this poem is called Small. Sensitive topic, a little warning beforehand. But okay. Every time I go on walks, almost every step I take feels like the meat on my bones is decomposing off of my body. It's been 3 years since it all started, so it's basically muscle memory at this point. I want to stop feeling hungry, but there's a certain high to it, and it's addicting. The soreness I feel in my hips from going too long without eating feels refreshing and nice when it shouldn't. My stomach, oh wait, that was the wrong. The hunger is so addicting yet so painful. I want to break away, but I'm just too weak. My stomach is so small I can barely finish any meals. Food just isn't good anymore. There's nothing I enjoy eating. The way the food slides down my throat, through my intestines, and into my stomach makes me want to throw up everything. The way cold water fills my empty stomach almost every day to relieve the pain. I am in pain. I'm so tired of worrying about my weight. I'm so tired of counting the calories I eat. I'm so tired of caring. I'm cold all the time. I'm tired all the time, and I'm hungry all of the time. But the hunger feels warm and welcoming. It just feels right. I feel in control over something for once when everything is off their leash, but I am in so much pain. I'm starving myself. My stomach begs for food, and I subconsciously make myself sick. It's an abusive relationship. It hurts, but I was in love when it first started. I was in love with the idea of being that girl in the back of the class with an eating disorder. I wanted the attention and validation. I wanted to be the center of attention. Why did I want to be the center of attention? Why did I do this to myself? Now it's always just this idea weighing over my head, telling me I'll be happy if I become small. Small, it's always that word. I'm always small. Sometimes I wish I was skinny enough to wear tank tops outside. I hate the way my stomach protrudes from any shirt I wear. I hate how I'm the only one that ever seems to notice. I wish my body fit my head. My chest just seems to be a bit too big. Sorry. I don't seem to fit anything I wear. I feel violated whenever my shirt is too tight. I feel like everyone can see everything. I feel everyone's eyes on me. It feels suffocating, and I feel small. It's that word again, small. I hate feeling small. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And at the end of our show, I'll save the chat and share that over email with all of our poets in case you've missed some of these amazing supportive comments. We'll move on to poet number 3.
And we might need to give the judges a moment to finish scoring.
Absolutely.
And Jackson can play a little.
Sure thing. Yep, scoring slam poetry is an art form, and definitely worth a little bit of extra time. Thank you, Jackson. Our next slam poet, you may remember them from the story slam. Alana Anderson is next.
Can you hear me all right? Okay, sorry. All right. I'm sitting in a classroom. My teacher is standing up now. His tone tells us he's about to get real serious. He tells us he's gonna buy a rope ladder. What for, we all think in unison, shuffles of confusion. He explains he's buying the ladder so that if we hear gunshots of an active armed shooter, we can escape the stuffy classroom to safety 2 stories below. We'll abandon our computers, scramble and gamble down the rope ladder. I'm 15 and sitting in an English class. Instead of memorizing the Odyssey modestly, we are now memorizing the order in which we escape, stupid honestly, how it matters how fast we must get out the window. Pop, pop, 2 gunshots. A girl blurts out, "It's so high." My teacher calmly responds with, "A broken arm or leg is better than dying any day." The girl looks like she's about to cry. I just want to fly. I hear pop, 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 3 gunshots, 3 glass walls, 2 bookshelves full of old dusty texts will act as our shields. And that flimsy, long, plastic rung ladder is our last resort. 4 gunshots, pop, pop, rap, pop. I try to hide behind a mask, but it's too hard of a task. My eyebrows are showing emotion, my hands are shaking commotion. I will go last, he states. It sinks in clearly. He will have to explain this to his students yearly. My teacher is strong, but that a bullet could pierce his lungs makes my heart numb. This class was a vacation, but now it's about a moral statement. How about how my teacher will be the last one to go down the ladder in an orderly fashion. Once you're down, you will run and climb over the 6-foot security fence, then run into the neighborhood as fast as you possibly can. My mind is bursting at its seams. This is not as simple as it seems. We have to be a team, life or death, horror inducing. One gun holds so much power. After one shot, it's a horrific disaster. Someone asks the paralyzing question, what if we're in the hallway when it happens, or the bathroom? My teacher responds, once the alarm goes off, we can't let anyone in the classroom. Anyone, even in front of me, there's a masked man with an automatic machine gun. 5 gunshots, pop, 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 pop. One gun holds so much power. Bullet holes and disaster, screams and shattered glass, no more masks. This is real shit, no cap. I analyze how he told us to use the bookshelf and textbooks as shields, but last time I heard, books aren't bulletproof, and neither is wood, and neither is a human heart. Pop, 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 get down, cover your head, duck. It feels like this building's been thunderstruck. I'm shaking. My palms are sweaty. The room is spinning. Gun laws aren't strong enough. Glass isn't bulletproof enough. Enough is enough. Never again. I walk into the dining room where my mom is hunched over the computer paying bills. Hey, Mom, guess what we learned today?
Great. Thanks, Pam. Our next student poet to share is Fiona. Give it up for Fiona.
I remember the sunset on the last day of my past life as I reinvented what it meant to be me. Red sun bleeding my memories onto the sky like black ink spilled, uncomfortably long silences like a slinky slowly slinking downstairs. I remember a scared child withering under the wrath of your rule, lies dropping from your lips like sweet nectar attracting butterflies. I, one of your many puppets you dangled from marionette strings, as we played pretend games of peasants and kings, plucking crimson feathers out of my wings. And you always considered me just a plaything. I remember cold, callous contempt, 1,000 nights I never slept, shivering in the shallow moonlight streak, cowering from your whispers like slivers embedded in my skin. I remember the glimmer of hope at the end of my rope always, yanked back like a lasso last time I was free so long ago. I remember white days suffocating, spots spinning, swirling, skating, tracing the lines on my leggings to ground myself. Never helped, but I kept quiet because of you. I remember the hatred I felt every time I looked in the mirror, my reflection waving I am here, always hazy, never clear, wiping away our tears, waiting to punish me for being queer. I remember the countless cuts you carved into my head, blood rushing red from invisible wounds, and you told me to pick myself up and quit crying after you left me in shreds. And so I did. I picked myself up and I broke free from you who made me believe I was nothing.
You're frozen again.
Scattering in all directions, splintering spiderwebs swept away like ashes to ashes, dust to dust, my trust in you gone with it. I remember the sunset on the last day of my past life, when I determined that you do not define my story, you do not define my life, you do not define me.
Thank you, Fiona. All right. Fantastic job. Thank you. Great participation from the audience. I really appreciate it. I think we've all had our share of technical difficulties this year, and I thank you for persisting and powering through. Well done.
I'll play a little something while waiting for the judges.
Thanks, Jackson. Thank you. All right, moving on to our fifth poet of the evening. Wow, everybody has been so fantastic so far. I do not envy the judges. All right, our next poet is Shayla. Take it away, Shayla.
All right. I am fat, I know. What a surprise. When I tell people this, they think I'm saying it to self-demise. I am fat, and I have always been this way. Even at my lightest, I still have body rolls getting in my way. I feel that I have the qualifications to come up here and call myself fat because I have heard almost every single insult in the fat-phobic comments for dummies handbook, from fat ass, fat bitch, and morbidly obese, all the way to, for someone your size, you are pretty healthy, I am fat. I have known this since I was a child. My upbringing to my fatness was not at all mild. Like when I was in the first grade, 2 girls said I was muy grande, not knowing that I understood exactly what they were saying. Or when in the 5th grade, after an assembly, t-shirts were being handed out. I told my crush I was an extra large and he gave me a gross look because I made it clear that I was stout. I am fat. And society said to me, if you are fat, you are ugly, and you will stay lonely. I drowned my self-hatred in spontaneous jokes because being funny was the only thing that I can gloat. In private, I typed with what people would call sausage fingers about how much everyone sucked. It was the world against me. In public, I would seek out the wrong people for validation, only to end up being the group's scapegoat with no hesitation. I am fat. And I hated that for a while. I did everything I could to not be seen as gross and vile, from logging my food all the way to watching the scale dial plunging down, down, down. I thought that I would feel safe and sound. I am fat. Though my body's big change was celebratory, getting hugs and high fives. Look at lighter Shayla in all her glory, though I am still fat. Even when I am 50 pounds lighter, even when I can practice basketball for hours without getting tired, I will now proudly wear what I want and flaunt what I have because my temple right here is the only one that I get. I won't apologize anymore for my curves and my wide set build because in the Renaissance period, my body type was the ideal. Yes, I am fat. And I have accepted that this is a part of me. You need fat to live, so why is fat a word that is considered so mean and obscene? Because I really am fat. And it's perfectly okay if you agree. Because I wear that label like a badge, and I am unconditionally proud to be chubby. Thank you.
Thank you, Shayla. Love to hear a tune from Jackson while the judges deliberate.
Sure thing.
Thanks, Jackson. Thank you, Jackson. Moving right along into our 6th poet of the evening. Right out of the peanut butter jar, Diego, you're up next.
This is titled Rivals. From the 2nd to the 6th grade, I would always fall from the same girl. I would step on campus knowing that today was another day I would get to see her face. Beautiful as if chiseled by Michelangelo himself. See her hair flow like the Mississippi and be as long as the Nile. Experience her nature, an attack dog should you ever cross one of her friends. Look up at her height, always at least 4 inches taller than me. And a bonus, she was Asian, knowing that every day I came home, I was making my parents proud. Enter rival. Our relationship was complicated. 2 lion cubs wrestling over a lioness. who at the time couldn't care less about our rivalry. We didn't fight with our claws or our muscles, because hell, we both know we didn't have that. No, we had to put our minds to the test. We had to use mind games, knowing what to say and when to say it, digging up dirt on each other that would leave a bruise, worse than any punch would, talking over each other so that the other never got a chance to strike. So I bet you want to know who won, who got to ride off in the sunset feeling victorious. Of course, it was no one. I moved away before I could make a real move, and my rival, he moved on. But hey, out of this rivalry birthed a friendship, a brotherhood where the bonds of friendship have been heated through a rivalry so hot and shaped by the hammer of time. We all have some sort of rivalry, whether it comes to love, sports, school. It doesn't even have to be a person. So I'm dying to ask, who's your rival? Thank you.
Thank you, Diego. Thank you. All right, fewer names in the jar now. Coming up next, Lily.
Lindsay Bever sits at her desk. Her open laptop illuminates her youthful facial features like a spotlight. Her not-so-cheap perfume is fading. The end of her pencil sheds the eraser shavings on her lazily taken notes. Her coffee tastes like nothing at this point. But this is what she lives for. Her fingers clickety-clack on the keyboard as she writes. When authorities went to arrest 38-year-old suspect this week, he was sitting on his porch in Portland with $1,500 in his pocket and 16 grams of methamphetamine in his wristband. According to court records, the Portland State University PhD chemistry student and community college chemistry teacher is accused of possessing, manufacturing, and delivering meth. I am in the 4th grade when she titles Portland's Real Life Breaking Bad, former chemistry teacher charged with manufacturing methamphetamine. And I know why she writes this. She doesn't care much for this story. It's just like any other. Writing this is as easy as tying the shoes she can afford to slip out of. Unlike her shoes, she doesn't have a connection to the story, nor would she want one. She only considers that I cannot stop her from writing this, just like I cannot stop my classmates from whispering, watching me walk down the cafeteria walkway, like how I cannot stop my family from trying to make small talk rather than address the missing piece of chatter in the room. I cannot stop myself from wanting to stay home that day. If I could, I would mute my elementary school friends from telling me what they saw on the news. I would take back every lazy twitch from Lindsay Bever's fingertips typing away at her keyboard. I would stop my dad from possessing, manufacturing, and delivering meth, but I cannot. And the fact that I cannot rips into me and burrows itself down deeper and deeper until it's at a place where I cannot get rid of it. but I can do this. To Lindsay Bever, I hope it was worth it. Worth all of the attention you got from ridiculing my dad, worth the fast and easy money that was almost more addicting than his drug problem. Worth never having to consider me. Unlike those who had to, when I had to watch my mother burst into tears because after hiding the fighting, the custody battles, and court dates, she couldn't keep it a secret that maybe I should stay home that day. When my family was just trying to take it one step at a time, you were able to strut on by proudly in your new shoes. To Lindsay Bever, consider how at the moment you wrote your story, my 4th grade mindset was shattered by your lack of consideration. Consider how friends at my school had more of their minds made up about my dad than I did. Consider how you thought you had a right to tell me who my dad was. To Lindsay Bever, I hope you know who you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. Let's have another round of applause for Jackson, our student musician. Thank you, Jackson. Our next poet is Quintana. Take it away, Quintana.
Hi. This poem is called Witches and Hens. In and out of the thick woods, our feet belonged to graveled driveways and crabgrass. Our legs swayed between stinging nettle. We played a game of farm girl and princess, a game of sharing the tree swing, our act of unity between their two worlds. We played witch in the bathroom, farthest from watchful eyes that waited for us to waste expensive lotions in our potions, one to cure the dog's heartworms and one for eternal beauty. We dug canals with our grubby little hands in dirtied sundresses. We mourned hens lost to an owl's talons and ran from Civil War ghosts in old battleground fields. We lost teeth and grew them back. We repeated our squeaky rendition of Riptide just to hear ourselves sing. We learned to sleep in the pitch black, and then we braved the sweaty stink that beckons you in crowded halls as our feet became soft and our eyes adjusted to the dark. We see the same stars from our own places in space, from lost nicknames to the new one she's called to separate hearts and homes from the sundress, from the friends who never knew the sundress girl in my backyard. And what if the hidden meanings in your face are lost on them? If I am not replaced, you chase the friction that comes with new experiences, the chase it back kind, the I'm in a dangerous place kind, the begging you to see past my fake face kind. I tell her city kid folklore, feeding the bits of connective tissue through time zones, and fight the protective shield of I'm new now, with winks to the farm girl who shared her swing. We are witches of royalty raised by ghostly hens.
Thank you, Quintana. Thank you, Jackson. We have 3 poets left. Our next poet is Donna.
Okay. A blank canvas is the kind of thing that's just asking to be painted or to be transformed into something beautiful. It's just sitting there, waiting for something to happen, for a little spark to form in someone's mind that grows, flourishes, and transforms into an idea that can turn into concepts, into entire worlds and universes, valleys, towns, and mountains, or down to the tiniest detail, where every orange is perfectly sliced into 6. Now the man skips a rock 7 times across a calm lake. Tall trees sway slowly in the breeze. Once you have a setting, the stories start to form. The man thinks about his long journey ahead as he takes a bite out of his orange. But suddenly, the rock comes shooting up out of the lake, skimming across the surface back into the man's hand, and the orange slices start to form back into a whole. Trees wither and die, towns, valleys, and mountains all merge into a blob of greens and grays. Worlds disappear and the night sky loses every star, and I'm shot back to reality, still sitting here, staring at this sea of white in front of me, wondering about all it could be.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Jackson. We've got 2 poets left. Our penultimate poet is Jordy.
All right. Can everyone hear me? It's working. Okay. So here's my piece. Okay. For my 15th birthday, my mom surprised me with a trip to the beach. After countless hours of happy birthdays and countless hours of laughter, I sat there, staring at the sunset on the ocean and contemplating what did I do to deserve it. Just 5 short months later, after countless arguments and countless hours of crying, my mom surprised me with an invitation to leave. I sat there packing my things and contemplated, what did I do to deserve it?
Thank you, Jordy. Thank you. All right. By process of elimination, the last poet of our first round, there is a round 2. The last poet of round 1 is Gigi.
All right.
Take it away, Gigi.
Okay. Last one. My poem is called State of Being. Losing myself in this paralyzation state of being, where north is south and the trees grow sideways. In this state of being, I listen to the pain of my own silent tears, trying to translate these unspoken words to audible noise and playing them on the piano for something real to grip onto. In this state of being, the federal government mows down moms and the blue boats are driving down my street again. Lollipops sprout from my fingertips. In this state of being, I cannot breathe. It doesn't seem to mean anything at all. You should see my face as vibrations of music travel through the air, striving to convey, to emote the struggles that have been placed upon us, within us. In this state of being, the Mad Hatter might as well be teaching 2nd grade, and I write, "Dear Anne Frank, don't worry, it will all be over soon." And she writes back that in this state of being, I should focus on the little things to block out the crazy that will creep in from the corners of my mind. Maybe it already has. In this state of being, I watch ants build Lady Liberty to hide the sins of the Confederate flag. She stands for freedom. She turns green when she lies. In this state of being, mirrors teach me to judge myself harshly before someone else does. Sorry. Mirrors teach me to judge myself harshly before someone else does. Magazines flaunt distorted people, practically aliens. We've edited reality and it's something else entirely. My swipe, click, tap is someone's pocket money paycheck. In this state of being, the rules went out the window. They slipped out the door and no one seemed to notice. It wasn't like it was before. You should see my face, crumpled in the agony of alone, sitting in the solace of a piano. Instead of playing, I'm laying my head on these cold keys, wondering how could the world hurt so much? In this state of being, we all cry into a void of validation, asking for more friends and more likes, leaving emptier than a glass of nothing at all. And I wonder,
What is wrong with our society to drag us to this desperate place? I watch the blue boats sink in front of a blood orange horizon. The lollipops are broken to bits, sticky candy covered in insects. Anne Frank peeks from behind the darkened shades and then fades from view. In this wild state of being, this incomprehensible universe, I am struggling to find a whole picture. There's so many broken bits and pieces, and I see all of its flaws as much as its beauty.
Thank you, Gigi, and thank you to all 11 of our phenomenal original poets. These poets gave me so much to think about and so much to digest. My socks are knocked off. Thank you. We'll have a short intermission before round 2. If you are not familiar with the format, several of the poets from round 1 will move into round 2 to present a second original poem. And then that will be where we determine the winner. And again, it's not about the points, it's about the poetry. Everybody who's gotten, I would say, up on stage tonight has won already. But we will have to pick one person, or and a runner-up and a third place person as well, based on the points in addition. So our panelists are taking a short intermission. Jackson, thank you in advance for our interlude music. We'll be back presently to let you know who will be in our round 2 presenting a second original poem. Thank you.
And thank you all we'll see you in about, I'd say 5 minutes. Thank you, Jackson.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Momentarily, we're going to announce the students who will be moving into our round 2, our second round of our Poetry Slam for an additional poem and additional judging to see who prevails at the end here. Sunny has a quick announcement.
Yes, folks, I want to tell you about Virtualandia. So normally after the school slams, then the winners go to Verselandia, which is a citywide slam, which usually is at the Schnitzer. But this year, it's going to be different. And what happened is Literary Arts has Virtualandia, and students from many schools were able to submit a video of one of their poems, and then many judges reviewed those, and we will find out on April 12th or 13th, which ones made it to the Grand Slam. And then on April 29th, I think it is, we'll have a slide up here soon. It will be a curated performance, because kids are going to go into a recording studio and be professionally recorded, and we'll find out who wins Virtualandia. What I'm especially proud of is that 10 Franklin students submitted videos to participate in Virtualandia. Many of them are here tonight, but a few are not. And I expect that Franklin will do quite well at Virtualandia. We'll see the slide at the end again, and we'll have notes in the parent newsletter and in Instagram where you can purchase a ticket. Students can go for free, educators can go for free, and the rest of you can pay a sliding scale. But we want you there to support the poets, and we thank you again for being here tonight to support our amazing poets. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Sunny. All right, without further ado, again, thank you to all 11 of our poets, our student poets. I loved everything I've heard tonight. Moving into round two, our 6 of the 11 poets are moving into round two. The scoring was extremely close, so I'll share that with you. These are our 6 round two poets: Alana, Fiona, Shayla, Lily, Quintana, and Gigi. Congratulations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've added the names back into the peanut butter jar, and next I'll be picking our first round two poet. That person is Fiona.
And you'll want to stop sharing your screen, Ann.
I see you, kid, with your bedazzled black bag, a catalog of every place you've been and every place you long to go. Rainbows and rebels jumping out to surprise you. How's it going? Hot Topic t-shirt kid, scared of sunlight kid, video games too late at night kid? Put your things in your bag, kid, she shouts to you from down the hall, scrambling to tug your shoes onto your bare feet, heel half off, sprinting across the bark chips. You left your bag unzipped, kid. I see you, kid, collecting buttons for that bag, wearing them proudly like medals, soundly securing them so they don't slip off. Sometimes you're gonna lose things, kid, and you gotta know how to lift your head up high above it. You don't believe you're capable of anything. More imposter syndrome coursing through your veins than blood, a flood of innovation boiling over. Doing best thinking at 70 miles per hour, hours spent on projects shot down by your fear of commitment. I see you, kid, like a mother cat sees a kitten, blind and deaf to any criticism, tackling the world in your tiny paws. Please pause for a moment. I promise one day you'll be able to. You're so fragile, self-worth hanging on by a thread, selfishly clinging to the belief that the world is fair. Just 'cause your name means fair, kid, doesn't mean your life will be. I know your head is full of ideas, kid, like the sirens wailing outside your window, unwanted and unwelcome, but you can make something of them all the same when the world claims your ideas aren't worth it. Go out and prove them wrong. I see you, kid, talking like you're tough and strong and all that. You will be soon, kid, dancing with knives strapped to your feet till the street feels foreign, pulling yourself up again from another bloodied bruise. Who's to say you can't do it? Go on and take my advice, kid, 'cause in this world nothing comes for free, no matter what your country be. Break away from the notion of what you should be, blindly following isn't your way. Keep believing in your dreams, kid. Collect these hopes, string them on a necklace like the alphabet beads you've kept so long, and store them in that black bag. One day, kid, we'll dust it off, open it up, add new ones to the chain.
Thank you, Fiona. Fantastic comments, information in the comments. Thank you, audience, for being so enthusiastic and supportive of all of our poets. Thanks, Jackson. All right, second poet up in round 2. Straight out of the jar, Alana.
All right. Melodies, bass notes, and lyric coats. Blush cheeks red, sunsets, dreams, and hazy regrets. Phases and changes. People always rearranging. You know what I'm saying. What about that rap that no one but you knew? The lyrics screamed in a dream. The song that pulled you through. All these lyrics that you knew were brewing into a beautiful stew known as you. Screaming devotion, what a notion, a remedy potion, free therapy sessions, healing in slow motion. Secrets one Republican, I wish she told me what she really wanted to say. Collide Howie Day, when I wish she was here to stay. Somewhere only we know Kion, when I wish I knew the right words to say. These songs are the very inventory of my journey. I live my life in many corners, lots of places, think about music in different layers. Guitar, helping me cope with my feelings. I'm not muted, not stupid, not losing. I'm choosing. This guitar is my best friend. It's true blue, loves me when I hit the E minor chord and the G. Tears falling, a song is calling. Notebooks get filled up to the brim, they feel like oceans of emotion. Lots of things left me cracked, but guitar was there for me like that. Insecurities led upon me, hanging on by a thread, losing it in my head. But when I played my first C, I knew it had to be. I could play my own songs, right my wrongs, learn how to feel, lead me to heal. New things, new flings, new queens, old kings, broken strings. Everyone is on their different pages, playing with their different gauges. I just hope I can stay okay, won't fray, be able to convey, sip my emotions like a buffet. You feel me? I just want to be driving safely down the freeway. I get lost, comes at a cost, get tossed. I cough in my own exhaust. I feel so cold like Jack Frost. I'm on a path less traveled. Voices heavy and hearts battered. Walking along ghost-like, feel my heart being toasted and roasted. I'm on a sympathy strike. Self-destructive thoughts, I dislike life. Feel like this world has changed and it won't ever be the same. I'll never be okay. The guitar picks up the phone, gives me a call now. Says, don't stall now, start writing a song. What about rainfall? Use clouds and curveballs as metaphors. Keep putting down letters. Wear this song like a sweater. When you're feeling cold, it will warm your heart and cool your temper. Now go get her. My hands start finessing. The strings are suggesting a C chord, then a D, maybe throwing an A minor, then a G. My voice starts singing, lyrics start swinging and ringing. It don't feel so much like December. Look at that weather, sunshine peeking out from the clouds. Listen to those sounds, how they surround. This ain't a rebound, this is profound. I'm now walking on some holy ground. Guitar slowly heals me, you see, helping me cope with my feelings, you see. I'm not muted, not stupid, not losing. I'm choosing. This guitar is my best friend.
Thank you, Alana. We'll give the judges a moment to enter their scores. We're a third of the way through round 2. Thank you, Jackson. Reaching into the peanut butter jar. Our third poet coming up, Lily.
They said she had issues. They said that she was driven mad by the hand she was dealt, which must mean she wants to kiss you. As if she was such damaged goods, she wouldn't require anything for you to commit to. Even the president said how the deeply troubled women are the best in bed. When I met her, they asked me how I was able to be with her, how I was able to walk with her hand in hand, how apparently to them that kind of acknowledgement was in high demand. Well, unlike their sexual lust, holding hands meant something to us. Instead of fucking her, I talked to her. Instead of taking her time, I gave mine to her. And neither of us ever mentioned sexual interaction, especially not for their satisfaction. When I was with her, they asked me in awe because some of the president's assumptions had been proven wrong. It's not like anyone would want to be in a relationship with her for very long. Apparently, they still couldn't believe how I could achieve what I didn't just want to fuck and leave. How was she in bed? And I told them how all of the amazing things were in her head, how her mind was like a music box playing through her thoughts till she could feel it in her worn out socks, causing the ballerina to dance the way that made her think she was never quite worthy of romance, playing out the music behind the scenes as if that was all she was meant to be. And they treated her as if being unwilling to give them what they wanted was an option. A broken music box player cracking under the pressure of being boxed in and silenced. Her quiet voice singing through her chapped lips. Finally, she had spoken, but no one ever wanted to know it, let alone notice the power in what she had been through. Who knew that most of her issues were about you? I tried to tell them how I didn't care if she was amazing sexually because she was already amazing generally. How such a surprise how musically someone could be when happy. I told them how she was, how her musically sharpened statements rolled off the end of her tongue. This time she didn't have anything to run from. They then asked me how they too could see behind the curtain and experience all that had been certain. And I responded so that they could get a clue that she already had too many issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. Thanks, Jackson. All right, coming up next, Quintana.
Hi, this poem is called What Am I Missing? Anyone can tell you how to be, including me. See, it's that you need to learn how to be alone. I don't have TikTok. Maybe if you didn't, you'd spend less time on your phone, because I do mindfulness. I even have one of those bells that rings endlessly, ding. And I also drink lots of tea. But you see, the other side of the story is the one where now is never enough. And shall I decide to grace you with the present of my presence, it may be hung on a contingency, because even in lieu of mindful me, I am wondering what I am missing in arguing between. Ding! Where are my bitter late night regrets soaked in bitter hungover breath? All pretty and nowhere to go. You've been good, no reason to forget. Good? I hate the way you accept defeat, mold a damn conviction, let go of your beloved discreet. Dignity holds value, something you're so quick to give away. You've romanticized the gross display of lust and the sadness and haze. You'd love to sit in the tub with your makeup on, smoky eyes steaming into your fluttering lids. I want to see the dawn. I want to dance with the muse and use my teeth, taste the newness, the untied. You love being tied to your love. Don't lie. This destructive quality will trash the congeniality, because you can be held when you cry. But see, that just may be the defining quality why we can't see eye to eye. My mortality slaps me in the face, all the while yours hovers. And only when, with head in the clouds, will your mornings be damp and you'll turn to me and wonder, what did I miss? My patience can't hinder this day, or the sun, or the way that you can be his first forever, so you can just discover with me. You can do your best to dismiss, but what about Miss Candy Kiss, Miss Can't? She can and she could, but a frozen year later, it doesn't matter, because even with my stillness here to stay, I see you, and someday I may be you, but I'll still be me too.
Thank you, Quintana. Jackson. All right. Another name from the jar. Gigi, you're up.
All right. Can you hear me? Cool. This poem is called Ode to a Blue Mailbox. Oh, most generous object. For hundreds of years you have stood on my corner, passing paychecks and bills, lovers' letters and passionate quarrels, necessary medicine, essential in forgotten ways like you, my darling box. Thank yous on pre-made cards and handmade I'm sorries from one old friend to another. Through you comes sympathy mail. So sorry for your loss. College applications and job resignations and mail-in ballots are entrusted in your care. Dear mailbox, we don't miss you until you're unavailable. I cannot believe you were stolen. Oh, mailbox, how has this happened? Our country has taken a dark turn to prey on the unsuspecting. Trump has sent for your head, and I dread the moment they cut your dependable legs from beneath you. He would steal an election, sacrificing your timeless glory without batting an eye to your navy-painted curves, your solemn strength. While you may not be the picture of beauty, I find you stunning. So comfortable in your blue skin. People run to beat the stoplight just to pass you by. Oh, mailbox, how I've missed you while you're gone, how I've underestimated you too, for when my thoughts turn to you, there's no mail to find on your doorstep, so you'll know you're appreciated. No mail for you to come. You will never get this letter, and you will never hear this poem. No one is more patient than you, my dearest, spending each and every moment sending white envelopes of joy into the world, passing selfless love to everyone but yourself.
Thank you, Gigi. Thanks. All right. Last name in the jar. Shayla. Take it away, Shayla.
All right. What are you perceiving me as right now? A feminine man? A masculine woman? Hell, maybe an icky bug crawling on concrete. I walk with my signature pace, heels stomping on the floor, and I am open to being perceived. I'm like a piece of abstract art made by Jackson Pollock. Some teens adore my colorful and out there composition. Most of the middle-aged just find me messy. Speaking of, let's focus on how our grand old society sees people like me. Am I a punk? Too sensitive for you? Or am I seen that way because you can't stomp on me like you stomp on spiders on the street? Maybe I look too weird for your taste, shove my inner ideas in your face. Maybe you should ask yourself, why would anyone want to dim their lights in their own place? I finally get the courage to cut my hair and get comfortable with the clothes I wear, and now I get perceived as a confused young lady who needs to tone herself down. But let me tell you who I really am, just to get the facts straight. Someone who wants to bend and break the rules of society that are put on my biological sex. A nonconformist who wants to inspire others, the ones who want to embrace their inner circus. Someone's child, an athlete, a lover, and a fighter. A student who is working hard to get my degree, and unlike you, someone who minds their own goddamn business. Because the real danger is to perceive the harmless surface and ignore the harmful who wants to be perceived as the harmless, the ones that engrave hate into our human nature and system, and the ones who stand still and look away because the hate isn't projected onto them. The ones who track down the impressionable and lost, that tell them bigotry is all just dark jokes to brush off. The ones who say, I support who you are, but don't project who you are in front of me, please? You think because you say the magic word, I am just gonna go respect you? Your vision of the world is blurry, exceptionally flawed, and loosely glued. The way you perceive people who are trying their best to be keen in their flesh and soul is damaging and harmful to the places that people yearn to call home. You don't know our stories, nothing about our lives. You don't know what we have been through to feel safe and comfortable in our minds. Every day feels like a chore when we are unpromptedly judged by you guys. Your words hurt sometimes, but I know you just have some unresolved hate on your part. You're not ready for change and see that self-expression is a work of art. We just want to express and progress the world and hopefully your hearts. But just know that I'm not offended about the way that you personally perceive me. So go to your concerns to someplace where it's needed, Mr. and Mrs. Grand Old Society. Thank you.
Thank you, Shayla. The judges are entering scores. The panelists are going to take one last quick intermission to finalize the behind the scenes, and then we'll announce our top 3 point getters of the evening. So thank you, poets. Wow, another round of applause for our round 2 poets, and another round of applause for our round 1 poets. I am blown away. Thank you. All right, we're going to do a quick intermission, and then we'll be back with an exciting announcement. Thank you.
And can you put the slides up? Thank you, Jackson. I do want to say that at the end of the school year, Franklin High School has what's called Arts Alive. And we'll be having some of our poets and some of our storytellers from the Story Slam featured in Arts Alive, along with music and dance and drama. So keep your eyes open for the opportunity to see Arts Alive and hear from our talented poets again. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny. Well, the moment we've all been waiting for this evening. Oh gosh, I've got too many screens open. And another huge thank you to our judges, our musical talent, our timekeeper, our poets, and our audience as well. Poetry doesn't exist in a vacuum. Our poets have created work to share with you. Poems are a true expression of our inner selves. Okay, here we go. Our second place poet is Alana. Third place is Shayla. And our winner this evening is Fiona. A warm congratulations, Fiona. Fantastic work. All of the poems this evening struck a chord, I think, in everybody's hearts. Fiona, your rawness and your ability to share your personal thoughts and feelings was beyond compare. Thank you. Thank you to all of our poets. Congratulations, Alana, Shayla. Fantastic work.